Kana Smith. I got that right?
You did, which is a rarity.
Yes. Well, no, it's not that tricky. Look at my name. Like, look at my name. It's just like,
Well, that's true. That's
yeah,
true.
yeah, it's true.
My sister and I grew up with a last name that we had to spell and pronounce for everybody, and now she's a Jones and I'm a Smith. So,
That's awesome. No, my name has a distinction of being a spelling bee tiebreaker.
no kidding.
Yeah, grade 3, Victoria Public School. It was not in my grade because I was in the spelling bee, so they wouldn't. They used it actually against an older grade. There's a tie. It was a
Wow.
tiebreaker. Yes, it was a tiebreaker. That's the claim to fame with my name, but that's
I
okay.
guess so. I think
Yeah.
Smith has no claims to fame.
Oh, there's a few, I'm sure, but I mean,
Most
there's
common.
it's very Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I kind of look at it like we it's not the name, what we do with it, right? At the end of the day, so I mean, right? So
Yeah.
you've been so folks just so you under. I saw her follow me on my old WordPress, but I got to update at some point, make it new and professional and the
Mhm.
like. And she's like, "I'll follow you." Like I email her and go, "I'm on Substack now, pretty much exclusively." And I was looking at your stuff. It looks like you're a traveler too.
Oh, yes. That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah. So so I'm about to go. I'm about to basically do in Mexico, South America, what I did in Canada, United States, which was walk, hitch, bus, whatever across it. So
Wow.
yeah.
I admire the guts. I think you said in your last podcast something, but your rule number 8 was staying out of your comfort zone or staying uncomfortable. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
See it through.
Yeah. So I can just imagine how very true that is to be walking and hitching and busing and
I actually did it in Oregon. Oregon's wild. So no, because you can literally go on the interstate if you want to hitch a ride. You can't do that anywhere else.
really.
Yeah, no, it's one of the few. It's one of the few states anything goes. Like I hitched from Eugene to Portland.
Okay.
Right, I had a gentleman, and we actually it was cool because he was disabled, so he was looking at building a career using his mind, and I was giving him pointers on writing. That's literally what I was doing the whole.
Right. Right. Kind of
Yeah,
paid for your ride.
yeah, no, it honestly it was really really cool because people think like I can't look, I can't say hitchhiking doesn't come with risk. It does, but it's not as bad as people think it is, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not the horror. My very first attempt at hitchhiking was a 78-year-old woman from Quebec when I was in Quebec City. She was like, "Let's do it."
How
But
much safer can you get?
are you kidding? That one was just wanting an adventure. But the problem was she was going the wrong way. Like if I was going towards Montreal, I would
Oh,
have had a ride. But that's where she was going. I was going towards New Brunswick, so it was hard to get. It wasn't that I Quebec was fun in the sense that I had lots of willing people willing to do stuff.
mhm.
It just was like they're going the wrong way. So just like damn, son of a bitch, right? So
Wasn't meant to be.
no, it wasn't. But
Yeah.
it was a hoot. I enjoyed Quebec very much, and a lot of people still will disagree. Like I'm in Ontario right now in Canada. They're like,
Mhm.
how could you like Quebec? It's simple. I spoke French very poorly, and I made fun of Toronto. I had friends for life over there. It's really
You just
easy.
gotta know the in.
Well, it wasn't even an intentional and it's just I honestly of all the Canadian cities, Toronto is my least favorite because it's big, loud, and it's grindy. Like the amount of people that kind of it's a meat market in the sense that people are working hard just to get by there for the most part,
Okay.
and I'm not a big fan of it because for that reason it like I don't have a problem with working hard. That's not the issue. The issue is um um
Having to get by.
well I think yeah, I think like we shouldn't be working just to get by. Like
Okay.
I don't believe in that. Like if you're going to kill yourself to get in the same position you are when you got out of bed, why get out of bed? Like
Yeah.
that's the honest like assessment there for me. I would rather like if I'm getting something out of it, I got no problem working my ass off for it. But there has to be there has to be a reward for that.
Incentive. Yeah.
Yeah, if there's no incentive, I'm not going to do it. In Toronto, it's just like everything costs so much. Look, I had a project manager guy was probably making probably $120,000 a year as my Uber driver just because he's trying to make ends meet for his.
No.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No. Can't like. And the other thing is that for Americans, like Canada is expensive, even more expensive than the States. You think you're expensive, and I know Oregon's not cheap, but Canada's got you beat, and that's honestly a scary little bit of truth that a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where like when you travel, like you get a good chance to see, and you get develop opinions on different cities. Toronto has always been a hustle, has had an undercurrent of agitation, and I don't know, the undercurrent's there. And I lived in Detroit, where Detroit was very murdery and all that stuff. Chiller than Toronto, like oddly chiller than Toronto. I never thought again.
Wow.
Detroit was a great city. It just chiller than Toronto. I'd rather be relaxed in an environment. It's like, hey man, chill out. I could like have a good time. And I found Toronto was never the easiest place in the world to do that in. And the people that grew up there and would do their things there, they again, I don't have a problem working, but
Right.
I don't. But I want to have time to enjoy my life too. I think you can have
Absolutely.
both. I think you can have
Yeah.
both. And for whatever reason, especially in Toronto, that's not possible. So it's easy to make fun of that city, and it's incredibly easy for me to make fun of it. And then I go to Montreal. When I go to Montreal, it's like I first off you gotta try to speak French. So it's I go pardon monsieur mademoiselle mon français terrible parlez-vous anglais. And then I would get sometimes a comment like, actually, that sounds pretty good. Actually, you
But the fact that you made the effort, right?
Yeah, that's it. I'm doing the same thing when I go to Mexico. I'm going to try to learn a little bit of Spanish, right? So I try and understand some of the unspoken rules there, right? It's going to be a cultural shock the first like little bit. I'm going to stick around in the Mexico area for about a month because I might be doing another movie. We'll see.
Okay.
Right. So in this case, I'll be going back to the States to do a movie, and yeah. So like, but so if I do that, cool. But if not, I'm going to stick around Mexico for about a month or so, and then wander about and see what kind of trouble I can get into and all that stuff, and then eventually once I know the movie details, depending on how long I have to wait between, I might head farther south. Might I'm starting in Cancun, so I mean I can't
Can't go wrong with that.
No, I mean like I said, I expect there to be a culture shock. Like I know there's going to be, but I've kind of hit the point in my life where I want something a little different than what I've seen and get a little uncomfortable and kind of just let the world kind of show me what's out there, a little bit more.
Right. So when you're in a new city, how do you sort of take the temperature of a city? I mean, how do you arrive at the understanding of Toronto as being grindy, for example? How do you get in there and figure out what it's like, really?
So, okay, this is going to be a little different when I get to Mexico because I'm going to have my language isn't going to be the best, right, when I get in there. But you can usually tell, like, so things to look for: poverty. Like the undercurrent of poverty will tell you some things about the city. Like, okay, so I'll give you a closer example to home. Portland, because I know you probably are familiar with Portland. Portland is very upfront with its poverty, especially if you go to certain parts of the city. Certain parts of the city, you see it. Like now on a personal note, I didn't care for Portland. The city for like the people, and by the way, people were great there. It's not the people. It's just there's something about the vibe of that city that feels very off to me. Yeah. And ironically, you go across the river to Vancouver, Washington, ladies and gentlemen. Very different vibe, nicer. Like it's a better. It feels better, and literally it's across the river. It's not even like I don't fully understand that exactly.
Right? How does that happen? The whole character of a town when it's not that removed geographically.
It's literally a mile apart. like literally a mile apart. Man, I'm being very generous. I'm being very generous with the bridge, but it
If the
feels.
river's a mile, yep.
Yeah, I mean, right. So I'm being very generous with that, but it's so different. Vancouver does have its poverty too. Like, it's not like it's, but it feels a little smaller. It feels a little less stressed.
Yeah.
I also a little liking of Vancouver, Washington, because I got free ice cream there twice. Once from,
Well, you can't beat that.
yeah, exactly. The first time I got robbed. Like I got scammed as I was going into Portland.
Oh,
And no, it was wild. So I got scammed. So I had to head back to Vancouver, BC to go fix my bank card. So I was stuck.
wow.
I told my story about what happened, and the ice cream place felt bad enough for me that they actually let me go on the house.
Wow.
Oh, it was really nice. But the second time, I went and thanked them. This is how this worked. I went and thanked them. I was gonna buy an ice cream. They decided to give me that one for free too. They were like, yeah, you know what? You were so cool. Here's another one. It's like, wow. So yeah, Salt and Spark, Vancouver downtown. I will always love you guys. So
yeah.
shout out. Like yeah, like that's life stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
and yet like the so when I feel a town out, like I look at the poverty, I just look at how I can talk to people, how easy it is to talk to people. New York, you couldn't talk to anybody from New York. That was really, really interesting.
Oh, they just didn't, like an outsider ban from them. Is that?
I know, just me with a giant backpack. I just was not. I wasn't. Again, it wasn't malicious. Like I always say, playing this with New York, it's not a malicious. Hey, we don't give a fuck about you. Exactly. It's just like
busy?
we just busy, caught in their own world. It's just it's a New York thing. Like you gotta see it to like. I actually spoke Quebecois French in New York. It's one of the tourists is from Upper New York and spoke French. So it was just like I was speaking a little bit of French with them, and I'm like, wow, of all the things I expected to speak here, this was not one of them. Wild, but I mean that's New York, right? The only city I really did not like was LA. Right? I didn't care for Portland, but I didn't despise it. LA, no.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, I can relate with that.
Yeah. There's nothing I can think of to like about LA, and I've not spent a lot of time there, so that's perhaps that's biases of mine that
Yeah, sure.
I haven't dug in and walked the streets like you have, but yeah, I don't see a lot to like in that. We left Boise 7 years ago. Boise, Idaho it's barely even a city. It's for years and years, it's been the closest thing that Idaho had to a city. But I grew up in Idaho when there were not a million people in the whole state. And now they're coming up on a million people in the Boise Valley. And it's a town infrastructure that is suddenly growing with a city type population. And maybe this is where some of my anti-California bias comes in, is that almost all of those incomers are from California and brought California with them, want to elbow into our space and have it be California instead of be Idaho. So it just got too much city-y for us, and so we fled westward, and so we're now in a little tiny town of 16,000 farm town. It's beautiful. This is what I grew up with. This is comfort zone for me. So
and there's not, by the way, there's nothing wrong with having your home base be somewhat comfortable. Like I'm not
right.
like not everyone's me, and I get that. It's no, like you have to look at it honestly in terms of what you're going for as a city, state, like that kind of like what do you want it to look like? I'm still figuring it out. Like I honestly think like there's, if I were to live in the United States, it would be something like Vegas. Vegas was fun. I enjoyed Vegas. It'd be Vegas, or it would be something smaller, right? Just something smaller on the outskirts. Yeah, or if I could find a way to afford it, San Diego, because San Diego is by default awesome. Yeah, by default pretty freaking awesome. I enjoyed San Diego very, very, very much, and just being truthful when I say that, because I thoroughly just enjoyed the oh, there we are. Just making sure I'm just on. Okay. There we go. We are where we're supposed to be right now, which is where I just want to make sure. I wanted to make sure. No, it's one of those things where you kind of realize that people gotta find what works for you. I don't know if it's going to be in Canada or the United States for me at this point
Mhm.
because I think we're not going to get into the political stuff too much because I don't really feel like that's the conversation I want to have today. Is that
Please
fair?
do. Oh, please.
Yeah, but you guys are going to be a yo-yo like this
Oh,
for the
yeah,
next week. Even post Trump, you're going to be like
absolutely.
it's going to be like that, and Canada is going broke. Like I'm watching Canada slowly sink its country into like we didn't have a high homeless population 5 years ago. Now that's everywhere, and it's something
That's
I think.
fast.
What?
That's a fast change.
Oh no, it's very fast. Like if you were to look at Canadians are very. I think the reality of it hasn't fully sunk in. But if you were to go in most cities, the have not concept in Canada has that gulf has probably widened the fastest of all the countries. The United States, for all its problems, is very open about some of the things that are going on in it. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying that that's just the way it is. Um, Canada's not. Canada's still a large part in denial about what's going on. We're still pointing fingers at parties, and we're not really looking at, or we're pointing at you guys in states for
Right.
cause. And
We got an
well,
easy villain here.
not, well, that's it. It's an easy villain. It's not the truth anymore. Like I like pro wrestling. Like I really do. I enjoy good. I enjoy some pro wrestling. But politics isn't pro wrestling. There isn't a good guy or a bad guy. It
Not
is.
supposed
This
to
is
be. Yeah.
well, there really isn't. Like if you for a bad guy to exist in politics, it requires two things. That means the other side has to be pretty much about the same level of bad guy, and also, she bit her tongue. She might disagree with me on that, but that's okay. But also, to some degree, there's a certain level of compliance with people, because it's to put succinctly, there's a level of comfort in what is, even though it's chaos. There's a certain level of comfort with that, and it's true up here too. I feel like for a system to get to a certain level of corruption, the entire system needs to be corrupt. It's not just one or the other. Um, Now again, good, bad, or indifferent. You can say what you can disagree with me on that somewhat, but that's where I think our problems are more systemic than they are a person. And
Yeah.
unless we're being very honest about that, right? That doesn't mean that there aren't some people maybe more responsible than others. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is, okay, we're here. Where do we do? What do we do about the policies and the things that are going on, instead of maybe pointing the finger at the most obvious villain of the era, right? Because even if he was gone, somebody else would be the villain of
Yeah.
the era, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, politics isn't pro wrestling. It's
No.
real issues, and people in Canada at least aren't ready to really. I don't feel are fully ready to face those issues. They're new to us. Like we're a younger country, and this is I think the first time we've had anything that resembles the kind of hardship that's going on right now.
Right.
Does that make sense, or am I
Yeah.
just on something?
No, no, that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, yeah. That's where the advantage where you guys are being a little older. You've had more time to get more fucked up, so you're a little, a little.
Well, it's I'm thinking in terms of the 12 steps. You guys still need to hit step 1, which is acknowledging that there is a problem.
Yeah. Oh, we're coming to that one way or the other, but now we're trying again. We're not. It's again. It's one of my favorite movies is from is not man. It's V for Vendetta, and he goes, if we're being, and there's a moment where he goes, who's responsible for this? He goes, some are more responsible than others, sure, but if we're really being honest, you gotta look in the mirror, and that's an honest that's the truth. Like we let no matter what goes on in the world, on some level, we let it happen, right? On some level, not in terms of maybe the moment of the incident, but what we do follows it. That's
Right.
entirely up to us. And if we let certain behaviors continue, then we're not saying no to those behaviors. And I think I think Canada and the United States and the G7 in general have let certain behaviors go for a very long time. And I'm not talking about like one particular individual. I just think it's not a left right. It's a rich poor. And I think that's and that's a like we ended up talking politics anyway. Anyway, that's fine.
We did.
But we're talking about issues. I'm not talking about people, which I think is
Fair
the other
enough.
thing. Yeah,
Yep.
right. So it's one of those. We got to be honest about that. And I don't think I think of the two countries, the United States is more honest about it. But what I think the United States is in common with Canada and with the rest of the world is, okay, they're aware of the problem, they don't know what to do about it. And whereas I think, right, and I think if we want to talk about what everybody has in common, I think everybody's afraid of what happens next when we do confront this. What happens? Because a lot of things would have to change, and I think everybody's afraid of those changes. I think honestly, that might be the biggest thing holding these things up. I don't know. That's my big thought for the day.
People are not willing to go for your rule number 8 and be uncomfortable.
That's right. That's why I'm wandering across South America now, because I
Part of
realized
the reason why I admire you for doing that is because I love to travel, but I also am really, it's a dichotomy, but I'm really a homebody. I love to have a safe home base to go back home to. And so I'm picturing the sort of wandering without the home base time to recharge. And I don't know that I could do that, at least not for a long term.
I could do it for a long time. But it's funny. So you want to hear like a weird little thing that's happened the last couple of weeks? I finished working on a movie in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, and I flew back to Canada to take care of some business before I go to Mexico. And one of the things I had this really cool opportunity. The city is London, Ontario. It's not the exciting London, but it is still London. And I had this really cool moment happen. I saw one friend for the first time in 15 years, another two of them for the first time in like 25, 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, like elementary school friends. I was genuinely it blew my mind. Like one guy 15 years, we went to a bar, we had a couple drinks, we chatted, we caught up about life. It was really, really cool. I admire the man he is. Even though he's a bit of a wild man, but I admire like he's doing his thing. I got to see him and he's great. The other three I had met for breakfast. I hadn't seen them since like the first or second year of my high school. Yeah. So it was. I got an answer to a question I didn't realize I was asking, which was, do you have an impact on people? And you do. Years and years and years later, I hung out with two brothers that I grew them as younger, and another guy actually the guy I hadn't seen the longest from the 6th grade, and we just, it was cool, man, to be a part of that. Even though I don't know if I'm going to get another chance to do that again,
right?
That was a gift. It really, really was.
And so, what was the answer to the question? That you do impact people? You do.
I do. Yeah. I'm maybe a touch more loved than I realize. That's actually really good. It's a really humbling little.
Right.
That's a humbling little truth.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
I love that you dig in and you don't just say, "Hey, how's it going?" You dig in. It's probably the nature of podcasting, I'm guessing, interviewing people. Maybe the nature of the traveling that you do, where you're just sort of literally feet on the pavement. You reach out and dig down, don't you?
Try to, yeah.
Yeah.
What else is look. Okay, so Kana, this might be our only conversation like this. Let's say this is our only one. I'm trying to be morbid, but just being pragmatic, just being pragmatic about the whole thing. We have an instance to get to know each other. So why not make it count?
Yeah.
Right? Why not make it? Why not get to know a little bit about the person? Right? And that way, maybe a genuine connection can be formed. Maybe not. Again, not everybody I interview
Right.
we have that bond. But the thing is, I get to know who you really are. I hate the question I hate the most that asked, and the one everybody does is, "How are you?"
Right.
I hate it because most people do not answer honestly. It's a
No.
question of, is that you answer that question, what you're at more often than not, what you're saying is, leave me alone. Because I know, all right, that's what that's what you're actually saying. If I give you this kernel nugget, will you leave me the fuck alone?
Right.
That's what you're doing. And most people don't take an actual honest moment to reflect on what they're really doing. Right. So I have fun with it. I say rocking / rolling. I have fun with the answer because
Right.
what it does is, if someone's paying attention, they suddenly wake up. It's like, well, wait, that's not a normal answer.
That's not right. Yeah,
Right.
that's not the stopper reply.
Yeah, so I'm at this cafe in Windsor called Chow Cafe. So I'm getting to know the different people that work here. The owner that works here, I've known him for. I talked to him about 10 months ago when I was passing through during Christmas, New Year's, which is good. That's going to be interesting this year because I'm not going to be in this part of the world Christmas, New Year's. So that's going to be different. but then on top of that, I'm going to be like during that time, I got to know him a little bit of thing. We were talking about his travel through South America. He said, "Careful about Brazil. It's like it's a little dangerous. Argentina, not so much. You're going to have fun either way, but just be careful." Okay. I told him my Atlanta, Georgia story, and he's like, "Well, you'll be fine in South America then. You'll be fine. You'll be fine." It's more like, you gotta stop. I got to meet some of the waitresses here that are going through college, doing their different things. One's unsure of her future. One, she deserves the world. She's got the best attitude. Man, I hope the opportunities are there for her. She deserves them. And I say all this like I took the time to get to know people because it's important. We all have a great story. You just got to be willing to listen for it. And more often, again, a lot of people get caught up in their own. I left Calgary, Alberta because most people got to the point they got comfortable just being in their own little worlds. I don't want that kind of disconnect in life. I want to actually be part of the world. You're here, right? Make the most of why you're here. Now, one day, God will say, it's your time. I'll be like, okay, but until that moment, right? You got to make the most. You got to treat it like it's important. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think I scored points with you on that one.
You did.
Yes.
You did. I feel like I'm interviewing you. This is your podcast. I'm going to come on here and interview you.
That's fine. You wouldn't be the first one with that strategy.
I don't know if you saw it. I wrote a little blog post yesterday about being nervous about this.
No, I'm ready. I'll read it.
It's podcasting is entirely a foreign to me. I mean, I've listened to them, but just, I don't know, sort of say, hey, yeah, that'd be fun. And then what I wrote about actually was your rule number 8. That's why it comes so much to mind is that you had said that in the podcast that I had just listened to. And so I said, that's it. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to be uncomfortable. So yes.
And a little nervous. Yeah. From everything I've read about your blog, it's basically you seek that discomfort, but then when you get out there, you're like, oh shit, now what? Like that's you.
Yep. I tend to jump into things and then ask not just how deep was it, but was there water there? So
sometimes Wile E. You remember Wile E. Coyote?
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah, so Wile E. Coyote, we all have a little bit of Wile E. Coyote in us, and you know what?
Run out there for a bit and then look down.
And then look down, and also if there's a concrete bottom, if it doesn't kill you, you get back up.
Yeah.
I realize
I'm still walking.
Yeah. Well, no, that dude is the hero of that story. You're younger. When you're younger, you root for the Roadrunner, and what you realize when you get older is like he's an asshole. He's a legitimate legitimate asshole.
Me,
I want,
me.
yeah, no, it's dick. Now, to be fair, Coyote is chasing him. I mean, Coyote deserves some of what he gets, some of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, no, you're a legitimate dick. Like,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So you want him to catch him, but there's also this one scene, I love it, where he finally catches him. He's still tying the Roadrunner's rig. It's like, okay, guys, you've wanted me to catch him for years. Now what do I do? Right.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's
right.
probably me half my life. Like, oh,
Well,
now what?
well, so I mean, the coyote is also a he's a great life lesson too. He never be afraid to fail. Like
Right?
that dude. Oh, I can't
Over
wait.
and over and over.
Oh, I can't wait. There's a Coyote movie coming out next year called Coyote versus Acme. I'm like, yes, yes, I'm in. Because if anyone's got a right to sue a company for malpractice, it's that guy.
Yes, indeed.
All the devices that have failed on him,
Yeah,
you know.
a little bit of user error in there too.
So
But
sometimes
yeah.
it was user error, but sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes you just watch it and you're just like, what the hell? It's not meant. There's this one that he failed. He got so frustrated. He's just like, come on, work. And he's underneath when he's doing it. It's like, what am I doing? Like, you're so frustrated. It's just like, I can understand your pain, man. Yeah. See, I'm old-ish. I talk about why.
Older.
Yes, I'm ish. I'm middle-aged. I'm 44, almost 45, and it's just like, I've hit middle age. I'm about to go into past middle age and into 50.
Yeah. I just turned 51, so it's there, white hair and all.
Yeah. Well, I'm
embracing it.
I'm embracing myself. Oh, I'll be a full-fledged supervillain. I'll be a full-fledged supervillain by the time I'm 50. I already know that. So I'll have an obnoxious red cape. I might hire one of the girls here that they'll be like 25 at that point. They had like to carry it. That'll be their job. So put it down when I want to look cool. You know, why not? Right? Why not? I mean, just life's too short. Like that's why. I mean, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. Like I know I only got maybe a year or two more of being able to do it like I'm doing it. Then I'm going to have to actually evolve into at least a car or something.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't do it now, I'll never will. And it's important. If you got, I truly believe this. If you have like a dream in your head or your heart, no matter how old you are, you gotta try to make that stuff possible because it's there for a reason. Open those doors and see what happens.
Yeah.
You're like,
I'm pondering. So here's the parallel in my life is a little bit going the opposite direction. I have wanted forever to live on a sailboat and just to travel that way, to have that home base that goes with you places. Mm-hmm. And a couple of years ago, my husband and I bought a sailboat, and it's like an ocean going, full on, the full deal. And we spent a couple of years planning we were going to pay her off and then quit our jobs and pull up stakes, toss off the mooring lines and just hit the sea. And we realized that not that we're not going to do that, but we're not going to do that in this boat. And having to take the step back and put the boat up for sale this month. And so it's just taking a step back from where the dream was so, it was so solid in the shape of this boat that we could picture ourselves on. And so, okay, life is short and we don't want to waste our time dicking around and not get there. But I guess we're back to that. It's more of a question mark now. What does it look like? And for a couple of years there, we thought we had the solid shape of it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
the first year I was going to do this, I stayed in Calgary because I didn't have money. Radically, some things never change. But I went a full year. Just like, I'm going to try to save up. I'm going to save up, try to do it right? Mm-hmm. I ended up in the exact same spot I was the year prior. I just said, fuck it. Like that, fuck it.
Go anyway.
Well, yeah, because the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect something different,
Yep.
right?
So
So
my sponsor tells me.
yeah, yeah, no, like that's the definition of insanity. They're right. So, I mean, I went around, I did the right thing. I ended up in the exact same place. Fuck the right thing. I'm just gonna do it, and we'll
Right.
figure it out as I go. And holy shit, the pits and falls and the ups and downs, and
Right.
yeah, you know,
Hmm.
life's too short. And
We're
you
not
know,
getting younger. All
but
the things
no,
that you want to do are not going to get easier to do. At least I can't think of anything on my list that's going to get easier to do the more I age. So,
thumb twiddling. Thumb twiddling gets
yeah,
easier the more you
yeah,
do.
that's true.
You'll
I'll
just
save that for my 90s.
yeah, thumb twiddling gets real easy. No, it just I look at like it's all things are possible, and I wrote that today. Kind of like my motivation on my thing. It's like you just gotta make whatever you got inside you. You gotta make it happen.
Yeah.
And you know, I like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna see the whole world this way. I don't know how far this goes. This goes until I find kind of a place that kind of feels that like I get that home vibe. Now
Uh-huh.
maybe it's in Peru, maybe it's in Mexico, maybe it's in Brazil, maybe it's in Argentina. I don't know. I
Right.
don't tend to have a good answer to that question. I don't. What I do know is what I do know is that um, it's out there, and I gotta be willing to find it and see it and get out there and explore the world for all it is, and do something that you know. And in the process of how I'm doing it in a way very few people try.
This is true.
Right?
This
People
is
do have done it, have done what I'm doing. It's not like it's not an impossible task, but it's also about going out there and putting yourself in you put I realize that you know the who you are is I think to some degree is determined by how brave you are.
hmm.
That like it's what you're willing to put yourself into,
Yeah.
right? Doesn't mean, by the way, the fact that you won't do it doesn't mean, listen, doesn't mean you're a coward. It means you might have some common sense. I don't pretend to have that, right? It's just, but it means that you got to go out there and you gotta be able to make it work, right, for
Yeah.
yourself, however that looks like for you. And the things you're willing to do and the things you're not willing to do say an awful lot about who you are.
Hmm.
And like, I'm not willing to work just to break even.
Right.
Not willing to do that. I might as well just do what I want. So that's what
Yep.
I'm doing.
There you are. There you
Yeah.
are. Well, I think among the many things for which I love my husband, the sailboat dream is has always been my thing, and he gamely jumped on board with it, both literally and figuratively, and just right there with me. And so, okay, we decided to sell this boat, but then not a week after that decision, he came to me with some other boat listings. Like maybe this is the boat. We don't need to let go of the dream. And I thought there was a part of me that wasn't sure how much of the dream we were letting go, if that makes sense. Like, are we just not doing this now that this boat didn't work out? Or are we taking a step back and saying, "Whoa, that was crazy," or are we just doing this differently with a different boat in a different place? And so for him to come to me with another boat actually meant the world to me because I felt like I was maybe cramming this dream down his throat. And
Oh no, he bought in. Like he's in. So
yeah,
you kind of have to try it at least. See how it
oh
goes.
yeah. So that
Right?
still is the plan. I just now I don't know what it looks like, and I'm not great with uncertainties. You know, the whole uncomfort, discomfort thing. My biggest discomfort zone is not having certainties. I'm a concrete thinker, and I want to know what it looks like. Damn it! And so, being back to the sort of nebulous, well, we'll see what we're doing here thing is not my favorite. But
Well, would you like a piece of advice?
oh yes, please.
There's no such thing as certainty.
Damn it! You sound like my sponsor. Which is to say, you are a wise person.
Bank doesn't. It's not real. Look, my generation is not going to have retirement. My generation
Right?
has this looming threat of AI, which I'm somewhat shrug. Whatever, whatever.
Me too.
Yeah, right. So I mean, it's an age old conversation. It really, really is, folks. It goes back to the Civil War, at least. So, I mean, I'm not worried about being replaced for a job because really I don't want to work in a job. So why the fuck would I care? Right.
Right?
So,
The ones where we're replaceable are the ones we don't need to want to be doing.
well, they're gonna trying to go deeper into that, but I also think this is kind of my take on the whole AI thing. If people want to live in a box where everything is done for them, there are farms that gotta go lead to slaughter. Just saying, right. That's that. I mean, you gotta want to do something in this life, and if you're looking to be taken care of, you will. It just won't be the way you like it, right?
Right.
Right. So
Right.
certainty isn't certainty is a false sense of someone who wants to be in control, doesn't it? It's not real,
Yeah.
right? Right, and wanting to be in control is wonderful because you're like, I can't get hurt if I'm in control. That's also bullshit, but that's what you tell yourself, and
Yeah.
you're like,
I
shit.
know this conversation. Yep, you're laying it right out there. I know this conversation.
Of course you do, but you need to hear it because there's still that little part of you that won't let go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, all right.
Control freak.
There's no such thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing is you're lying. That
Yes.
little part of you is
A
lying.
wannabe control freak. The one who's always trying to
Listen,
control. Yeah.
listen. You want to have a say in your direction, and I think everybody does. That's human. But you know what? You know what I've learned about life? God don't give a damn. It's like that's cool. They're like how do you make God laugh telling your plans? That's how you make it. That's how you make God laugh. That's how you right. That's how you make him
Yeah.
laugh. So you just
Yeah.
I'm not saying by the way that again there isn't some room for negotiation. There usually
Well,
is,
yeah.
but that all said, right? That all said, that concrete thing, it's probably the biggest illusion we have.
Yeah.
So nothing's going to be here forever, and everything changes, and there's no such stillness isn't real. The moment a society tries to embrace this idea that it'll always be this way, that's when you need to run.
It has
Because
never been always this way.
yeah, no,
Anyway. Yeah.
no. Or and to quote one of my favorite philosophers, just because things have always been this way doesn't mean they always have to be this way, right? And I'm sure that's going to boggle some people's minds. And someone who believes in God is quoting one of the hardest atheists on the planet. But when he's right, he's right. But it's one of those things where you got to kind of look at life and go, you're not in control. There's no
Hmm.
certainty. Now, just do you have a vision to try to make your dream real and see what happens? Right? It may not work out the way you want it to, but here's a thought: it might actually be better.
That is almost always, and I hate to admit it because I always think I'm a great planner. I love to plan things. I'm the spreadsheets gal. It goes along with the control freak thing, but invariably, God's plan is better than Kana's plan. Invariably, pisses me off, but there it is.
You can't see everything. And that's just your limit. That's the limitation you have. And by the way,
Yeah,
it's okay. Right.
yeah,
And it's like again, you have a say. It's not like there isn't a room for negotiation.
right.
Right. It's just that you have to kind of go with the flow here and live
Mhm.
your life like you got to accept the things you can't control, which by the way, there isn't much you can control. The only thing you
Right.
can control, the only true thing you can control is you. Everything else, right? Everything else kind of just
Yeah,
sucks, right? Right. Everything else you just can't. Like I can't control what the sun comes up. I can't even control if I wake up. I hope
right,
so, but I don't really
right.
like life's that fragile, folks. You just gotta kind of accept it. So it wouldn't be fun if it wasn't a little dangerous. It wouldn't be worth
Yeah.
living if life never changed. It just wouldn't be worth it.
Well, I think the flip side of my personality of wanting to control things, the saving grace maybe is at least that I am able to see over and over again because I keep, it's the insanity thing, but am at least able to see how things turned out better than what I thought,
Yeah,
and to celebrate that when I get to it. I
that's
always have a
good.
new plan, and that one gets overturned. But at least I'm able to acknowledge and celebrate the plans that do reveal themselves that weren't the ones that I had in mind. So
Yeah.
saving
No.
grace.
Yeah. So you enjoying my Substack so far?
Yes, yes, I am.
Yeah.
I've been digging back into the whole community, I guess you would say, of bloggers and podcasters. And when I was really active with my blog 10 years ago, and that was what I enjoyed the most about it. Sort of like you interviewing people and digging in with people where you're traveling, and it was the way to do that while standing still, was to get to know people and interact and comments on people's blogs, or connections like this one here, where what we start talking a little bit, and then sure, we'll do a podcast. And and I had missed that being connected with people, because certainly there are people around me in my everyday, but it's the same dozen or so. And what to say, maybe I don't want to keep digging the same hole over and over, I guess, is kind of what I'm saying. So to be able to reach out to other people, even from my desk, from my couch, what have you, is something that I really missed. And so I'm digging back into that, and along with posting more on my own blog again. And I'm finding a joy in writing again that had been missing for a while. I My previous husband died, and I just stopped writing for a few years. Didn't write on the blog, didn't write in a journal, just didn't write, period. And um, so I've been writing other things, but to come back to the blog and start reconnecting with people again, instead of just holing up in my hobbit hole and writing a novel, which is what I've been doing the last couple of years. It's really, I'm finding the joy in it again. So that was the very long way of saying yes, I'm enjoying your Substack.
Yes. That's good. Yeah, I got a book or two already kind of written on my Substack with everything I've written in the last year.
Hmm.
So writing about all the adventures I've had and all the adventures I still got more to write. I'm working in Nature's Park. That's the next like arc of the Substack, and then I got to work
Uh-huh.
on. Then I'm working on a movie set. Actually, how I got into a movie and stuff like that. And
I was going to ask you, when you say you're doing a movie, what does that involve?
I was in a movie as an actor, film crew for an indie project early October. So
Uh-huh.
it was my last official bit of quote unquote work. I've been doing some other things, obviously my Substack, and
Hmm.
I just submitted a potential article to Huffington Post. Fingers crossed.
Nice. Yeah.
Right, fingers crossed on that one. But they were interested in they were interested in my experience working in the naturist community. So I pitched that to
Hmm.
them. I got a few other things I gotta pitch and do. I'm just trying basically to ensure, again, being that little hustler inside, that
Right.
I can make money. I have made money as a creative, so I mean that's something that I'm going to
Yes.
keep doing. Um, so I'm going to like basically be, how do I put this? I want to keep doing that. That's a big part of who I am. Where you're at, where so yeah, I got probably just the Canadian trip's probably a book on its own, but combining both into one book, which I probably will, like the nine
Hmm.
months I was on the road and everything I went through, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Uh-huh.
I think that's a really real life is way more interesting than fantasy and science fiction. And I love fantasy and science fiction, but the real world's got so much going on in it. And honestly, if people want to feel like less depressed about the world, do what I did.
Yeah.
Like go out in it, because you'll find like most of the things you see, read, hear aren't real. At least not real in the way that you think they are.
Hmm.
And I think the weirdest thing about when I stopped, when I was working at the Nature's Park, is you see people caught up in the same like media stuff, and you were literally like United States is a horrible place. I was literally just there. Like it is not what it's advertised to be right now. It's got some bad points to it, sure, but
Right.
it's not what you're reading on social media right now either.
Right.
Like, and when you realize just how much of a distortion social media it has become,
Mhm.
Like, it's just like, okay, why would I even listen to it at all? But
Yeah.
people do, and it's amazing. But then I realized, like, maybe the most important thing about what I'm doing is, I think I'm living a. I think I figured out why people like what I'm doing, and it comes down to this: I'm living kind of a bit of a dream, or a lot of people have always wanted to do.
Mhm.
But it shows a world that's not what you see anywhere else, and that's, I think, the real appeal to it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, right, something genuine, authentic, and but
At the
also,
people level.
yeah,
It's the
yeah,
world at the people level.
yeah, which is awesome. At the fundamental core of it all, people are great. Like,
Yeah.
people suck. No, people are great on a fundamental
Maybe
level.
groups of people might suck. Maybe
Groups of
that's where
people,
the problem is.
groups of people do suck. It's their IQ drops, right? That's true. Groups of people. What tends to happen is, where one person, like everyone, the entire group's waiting for permission from one person.
Mhm.
So now, if that one person's great, it's a great group. But if that
Right.
one person isn't great, right?
Down we
Then
go.
down we go. That's it. When I was working at the Nature's Park, what my goal was to quietly encourage everybody in the group to know each other, talk to each other at least a little
Mhm.
bit. That was it. That was my leadership role. I would deal with problems, but I'd let people be themselves,
Yeah.
because that's what you should do, and let people be. I mean, and again, you get to the arc, like the teenagers, the 16-year-olds that were working there were calling me old man JP, and I had some fun with it. I got picked on a little bit too, like the nerd, but I mean, but that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
More often than not, I think we're not as comfortable anymore, I think, interacting with each other, and that's, I think, the nature of the technology we have today. We're
Yeah.
comfortable in our groups, but we're not comfortable expanding. So
Yeah.
a guy like me is really interesting, because that's like, I don't give a fuck about any of all that shit. I'm just going to get to know you. Yeah. And that's what I think the appeal is. I could be wrong, but
I suspect you're not.
yes, yeah. So, but that's it. It's like, I'm trying to have a different thing. But yeah, no, I will say this, like, in terms of kindness, it's probably the one thing about the United States that I was very surprised with. Like,
Really.
you guys are one to one some of the kindest people in the world.
Just if you get us alone.
even even
Don't
even
group us.
even in certain groups, you guys are great too. It's just, yeah, no, one to one, you guys. I'll tell you a fun, like, this is a bad. You gotta go back into. So when I was in Maine, I've done this story on the podcast a few times. I was hitching in Maine. I was hitching to Portland, Maine. Is where I was trying to go to. So I've done both Portlands, and I had a cup of coffee in both of them, actually,
There you go.
which is about what I can say about them. Um, but I was trying to get to Portland because I was trying to see my friend, meet a friend, pass, like, towards the border of Maine. And I'm hitching. I got to sign up and everything like that. And I had some people come up to me that they're mocking me for being, and then I told them what I did, and just the looks on their faces like, "What the fuck? Or what the fuck?" Yeah, I'm doing something very, very unique, and but then I would even get. So I was starting to get. So people didn't give me a ride in Rockland; they gave me money. Like, I was starting to get like $20, $5. Oh yeah, it was crazy. Like, people gave me.
Huh.
This one lady comes to me, "Hey man, get across the street. Come here." It's like, okay, sure. What are you doing? And I told her, it's like, well,
Uh-huh.
I just went across Canada. I'm going to do the same thing in the United States. And it's like, why? I'm just looking for a home, but I also kind of want to go through this experience.
Mhm.
And you can just watch her in her head, just like process this. She
Uh-huh.
takes out. She's kind of quietly just asking, like, what do I give him? She gives him $25, right? The United States. The thing about the American people, doesn't matter. I have stories like this every state. Doesn't matter, red, blue, you name it. Here's the universal appeal with Americans. The thing about the United States: if people feel like you're genuinely going for something, they will give you every opportunity to succeed. They can, even if it's just a couple bucks here and there. They will give you the opportunity. It's when they feel you're being taken, when they feel they're being taken advantage of, that stops. But as long as they see you going for it, oh, it doesn't stop. It's like, my God, this is so cool. Like keep going.
I think if you summed up, maybe not the nation's narrative, but what we tell ourselves it is, that's the sum of it. Is
That
go
is
for it.
that is the nation's narrative. That truly is the nation's narrative. I think most everything else you're seeing right now is an attempt to distort that nature. The truth is, it's not gone. It's very real and present. It doesn't matter where you go. Um, it it's the best thing about your country. It really is, and I think embrace embrace an outsider telling you what he experienced going through it. It was that it is.
Yes.
And by the way, and people listening, like a lot of people want to hear this part. This was during like January through April when Trump was in office too.
Mhm.
So and everybody's like, "Oh, ICE this." My immigration story happened in Canada. Did not happen in the United States. It happened in Canada.
No.
So I literally am walking back to Vancouver proper. I'm going to catch a bus. I'm going to get myself a Tim Hortons coffee. I don't know how it's going to work out. I still have my bus card from Vancouver. It's like I gotten it one, and wild, right? So anyway, I'm walking with my suitcase and my backpack, and all of a sudden this cop pulls up out of nowhere. He goes, "What you doing?" It's like, "I'm going to go to catch a bus." That's what I'm going to do. "Where you been?" "Washington." "When you crossed the border?" "Last night at midnight." "Can I see it?" Sees my Canadian passport. You can literally see the open deflation on his face because, like, I go, what's going on?" "Oh, we have a lot of illegal immigrants coming here." This is in Canada. This is what like people do.
Wow.
This is in Canada. This is not in the United States. This is in Canada.
Wow.
So, I'm not an illegal immigrant. So here's the thing: I hadn't had a Tim Hortons in months. I wanted a Tim Hortons coffee. I was going to get one that day, one way or the other. So I go to him, "Hey, listen, since you're here, can you give me like a ride to a Tim Hortons? That'd be great. Like, since you're already here, can you stop me?" So he goes to me, "No, ma'am, I can't. I'm by myself." I'm like, I looked at him, and I didn't believe him for a second because if I had been an illegal immigrant, he would have found a way to get me in the back of that car.
Oh, sure, yes.
Yeah, right. So he was a dealer. So that cop was a dick to boot, right? Like right. So that right. So like that's my immigration story. Like that's my real
Oh my
true life immigration
In
story.
Canada.
It was in Canada. The United States, I was ignored the whole way. In fact, it was funny. Like the difference was, like I was in I think Islington, like north, right, like the last city right before like you go to Canada, right?
Mhm.
Not the little town where the border is, but the one right before, like about 10 miles, 15 miles away. And I got like 2 free meals there right before. Again, people will give you, if they know what you're doing,
Yeah.
people will give you the benefit of the doubt, man. They really will.
Yeah.
And again, I wasn't expecting a free meal, but I got one and twice. So I had my meal for the morning too. And I went and saw it, and like I said, and then I crossed the border, and then I'm like, I get an immigration story. It's like, "Welcome to Canada." It's like, "Yes, welcome to Canada." So I mean, that's real. That's a real thing. And again, are Canadians up in arms about this? No, right? But I mean, their own citizen was harassed crossing in, but that's just that is the story of like that was the story of my trip. But
Mhm.
Canada was great too. I mean, I'm not going to say Canada was bad at all, but I like that border in particular, the Washington BC border was
Mhm.
weird both ways. I got into the States with an expired passport, an American
Oh.
passport, and I got out of it, and then getting out of it, I get like harassed by a Canadian police officer because I walked as I'm walking to the bus. It's just like I can't make this up,
No.
right?
No. Truth is stranger than fiction, as they say.
Yeah, so hopefully I give you a little bit of like, I'm not going to say that, like, again, the United States doesn't have problems. They do, but I don't. But if you're in a distance and if you're trying to use Facebook or the media today to try to tell you what the problems are anymore,
Eh.
no. That's the real problem. I think the real problem today is there is no credibility or authenticity anywhere, and because there is none, no one knows what the truth is anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a gal on my staff who is very, very much in favor, practically in love with our president. And it boggles my mind just to, as she wants to talk about these things, and I try to avoid it because I just don't want to even have the conversation. But the things that she believes and doesn't believe, and from what sources. And that's really what the whole difference of feeling comes down to, is what sources each of us is willing to believe,
Yeah,
because they're just the polar opposites. What she is hearing and believing, and what I see as credible and authentic journalism. Um, and no, none of that's on Facebook.
but I would go so far to say that today, more than any other time, you really got to question the sources of what you're watching. Yeah, and it
Yeah,
doesn't matter what they are, because at this point, somebody owns them,
yeah,
and this division benefits those people.
yeah, yeah. They're in hog heaven.
Oh yeah, they are. No, this is like this kind of chaos is what is wanted. And like I said, whatever you may think, I can just tell based on just our little brief what you think about the current orange man. So we will. So um, what I will say is, to me, just on everything I know, it doesn't matter who's in charge anymore. It's the system needs to change. But again, I don't have a good answer like for you either. I wish I had like this great magical crystal ball go poof. I know
Wave,
things that need to be
wave
there,
your wand.
but I know things that need to be there that would actually keep some of this in check. But I also think at this point in the ball game, that's an honest conversation between everybody going, okay, what do we have in common today? And let's
Yeah,
work from there. Divide and conquer. It's the oldest game in the book, but that is the game. And by the way, it's no different up here. It's no
yeah,
different anywhere else either. It's just the awareness of it, I think, isn't what it should be. And that's on all fronts.
yeah. That's fair.
Hmm. Yeah. Now I might be on to something or on something. I'll let you decide which. But that's what I see. Like I think I I look at the okay the I look at the person and just the waitress in there. She's working two jobs, going to school,
Hmm.
right? Deserves a good future. But if we keep fighting each other, she won't get one.
Yeah.
So right, and that's the reality of today. I'm a big
Hmm.
enough man to understand that, but I also want to enjoy my life. That's why I'm going to Mexico and South America and maybe
Yeah.
Europe to Asia, right? Because I realize that what I really want in this life, like that simple life I kind of want, I don't know if that exists here anymore. And that's honestly a sad commentary on North America in general. I don't know if it exists, but if it does, I will find it.
You
When my
are pounding the pavement in search of it.
literally, literally.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna ask this, and then we'll go in this topic, and then we'll wrap it up. So you're enjoying your writing again,
Yes.
right? Right, you're enjoying your writing again. So do you prefer like from a blogging like do you prefer fiction or nonfiction at this point in your life? First question of the podcast, by the way.
First, oh yeah. Well, nonfiction.
Why?
I I think because it's more of the all of what we've been talking about the people and the being at the people level of getting past the crowds, getting past the media, getting past the just what's going on with a person level of seeing the world. That's in nonfiction. And okay, yes, I'm writing a novel, and I have great feelings about my novel, and I read fiction too. But if I had to pick one or the other for life, hands down, nonfiction,
Mm-hmm.
real people.
Yes, absolutely. Although I do enjoy creating fiction still at this point in my life quite a bit. So I'm gonna be writing about a little girl, a unicorn that farts out rainbow avatars and a zombie mobster taking over a mob. So that's that. I mean,
Well, of course you are.
you're like, of course you are. But I'm kind of like a one of a kind of cat. So I mean, I embrace that. You know.
Oh, as you should.
Yeah, it should. So Miss Kana, what's your goal writing wise? You gonna at least take all your blogs and turn them into a book?
I've thought about it, although there's something like they're in their right place, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes any kind of sense.
It does.
Okay, yes, they are really a collection of essays, essentially. And so, yes, I could put them into a book, and I have thought about doing that. But I guess they feel to me like they're in their right place. So I write different things as books on purpose to be books, and those books I've got a few just small books out, and this monster-sized work of fiction set on a whaling ship that is whale-sized in nature. That I would love to publish that one, but
Are you
I want to do that. Mm, I don't want to have to do the whole publicity machine for it myself. If I were to get it published, I hope from a little help from a publisher. So I'm kind of
okay?
holding out hope on that one.
Well, call me if you need an editor. So yeah, you need it. But in terms of, are you a Moby Dick fan?
Yes,
Had a hunch.
yes,
Had a hunch. Had a hunch. Had a
very,
hunch.
very much so. Not the first time I read it, but now, yes.
Ahab and his white whale.
Ah, see a corollary, do you?
I do. I do. I do. I do. I do. And in fact, I actually understand your control freak. Would you like a psychoanalysis?
Oh, yes, yes.
I think in one sense the sailboat thing, like the pushback's probably a good thing for you and right now because again maybe not the right boat, which is fine. But I also think there's a little bit of terror when you get on the sailboat because they'll be like, now what? Now what? Because
Oh, yeah.
that is your white whale. Now that you got it, right? Now that
What
you
do I
got it,
do with it?
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's your like again. Ironically, we talked about Wile E. Coyote earlier, but Wile E. Coyote and Ahab have something in common, and they're both tragic. They do, right? They do. The Roadrunner is his white whale, and your sailboat is your white whale. And once you get it, you're gonna be like, well, what do I hunt for? Well,
Right. The horizon.
the horizon. It's not bad. I would, but since you like concrete stuff, it's right. It's
Mhm.
okay. It's okay to have a concrete map. That part's okay. You just gotta be willing to burn it when it completely is useless. When it's useless, right? That's the part about it, right? You I like when I write a novel, I visualize the beginning and the ending. Now,
Mhm.
I've accepted the fact that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So sometimes when I get to that point, I have to burn it. But you got to let go of the map in your head. The map's good. Sometimes it gets you back kind of on track when you get distracted because we all get distracted.
Oh, yes.
But sometimes also the ride evolves.
Yeah.
And you got to let it evolve and change and grow. And do I keep sounding like your sponsor, by the way, when I'm saying all this shit?
You do, and it's such a positive association for me.
Yes.
So, yes, when you
So
said
we're,
make God laugh with plans, she's the first person I ever heard say that was my sponsor. So yes, very much you do.
yeah, yeah. So
In a good
yeah, it's good. Well, your sponsor's a wise woman. So here's what I would tell. She would say probably the same thing I'm going to say to you. Have a concrete plan for what comes next,
Mm-hmm.
but be a big enough person to throw it away once you're actually out there.
Ironically enough, my very first blog post was titled "Burning the Script." It's something I've acknowledged, at least from time to time, should be done.
That's a life thing.
Yeah.
The script doesn't work for everything.
Yeah.
And when you go sailboating across the world, across the ocean, however you're going to do it, right? Then you're gonna have to like accept the fact that the script doesn't work. You might end up in Australia first. Then again, maybe you go all the way to Hawaii. Then again, maybe I don't know why you do it, going to Alaska in the wintertime, right? Right.
No, that one I guarantee isn't happening.
Okay, fair enough. But what I would say to you is like you're gonna like a sailboat is ultimately about trust. It's the to and
Yeah.
fro of the ocean.
Yeah.
So and I think that's the other aspect of fear. You gotta this journey is teaching me to trust that no matter where I'm going the right way. Even if I'm going the wrong way, I'm going the right way, right? So, um, you gotta learn it. Yeah, you gotta learn how to kind of trust the journey itself, and that's I think that's my cycle my cycle
And I got
analyst.
that for free. I'm
Yeah,
scoring today.
yes.
And tell
So
my sponsor to listen to this. She's going to be an avid new follower of yours. I have no doubt.
yes, that just referred to my Substack. Yeah, where it goes, where this is going to air, where this is part of somewhat going to air. I say all that to say to you, yeah, like life is about like let yourself go past the white whale, because it'll open up new doors. Ahab was doomed to stay on his ship just because he never could let it go,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it damned him. Don't let it damn you.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we have a conversation here. What do you think?
I think we do.
Okay. So what do you want? You got to plug your blog. So plug your blog.
All right. Well, it's kanasmith.com. That's Kana, rhymes with iguana. I'm not going to spell Smith, although I did get asked one time how to spell it.
Sometimes Smith is a Y. I'm not. It's not.
It's not a British type Smith. It's just your plain old American Smith.
Yeah, and that's
It's a
okay.
little bit of a lot of things, is what that blog is.
Yes. Yes. So I mean, on the subject of being, I'm looking at your blog right now. So I'll have to read what you said about me. I also got to read what you're going to say after this is all said and done too.
Oh yes, there's definitely a chapter coming.
Yes, it's called My interviewer is my sponsor.
Channeling my sponsor.
Yes. It's Lid Life. So check out kanasmith.com if you want to get good blog insights about life, the universe, and everything. That's Kana's world and how she views it. It's fun reads. For anyone who wants to listen to my adventures and where I'm going next, like I said, I'm just about to start writing about the naturist community. So you should definitely check out my Substack, joshuapantelleresco.substack.com. I am almost spelling it on here. I swear to God. Go check it out. I'm about to write about my naturist community. My paid subscription is about to go up in November 1st. It's about $80 for the year. If you guys want to join for the year now, that'd be great. Cool, I'll send you a postcard from wherever you're at, from wherever I am at. So I promise. So check that out. I want to thank Kana for coming on board the show. And guys, we got lots of cool interviews coming up for the end of the year. Like this is just one of many. So take a look at it. So for everybody watching, everybody listening, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Stay inspired. Keep shining in the dark. And I'll see you guys next time.